Hi guys, we're continuing with dress selection and design. So we reached the section of necklines and collars. It says the success or failure of a costume depends in no small measure on its neckline, which all too often is neglected, commonplace, or trying. The first step toward recognizing unusual necklines is disregarding the assumption that a neckline must be V, round, or rectangular. To acquire becoming necklines, discard the time-worn but false assumptions that a plain V slenderizes a heavy figure, a plain round line softens sharp features, and a rectangular shape widens a narrow face. Assume instead that any shape formed by a single line will be taken in at first glance, will be easily remembered, and will soon become tiresome. Because of the eye notes that once its likeness to or difference from the shape of the face, it may accent the defect which it is supposed to disguise. All flat single-line necklines have but one virtue: they silhouette regular features with clarity. But they silhouette defects of face and feature just as clearly. Instead of using V, the round or rectangular shapes, as they are, consider them as basic forms from which to develop less stereotyped, more becoming variations. So variations says, so a standard V shape can be changed to more unusual variations to be more interesting, and softer, not as sharp, variating. Standard round, high round neckline, and the suggestions on improving. A low round neckline can be changed also into variations, and a square neckline as well can be changed. I like this one. Cool. So make it more interesting rather than just plain and square. So less stereotyped and more interesting variations of basic necklines. V-lines with no suggestion of inward or outward curve are completely unpleasantly severe for anyone. The sketches illustrate the variations, which are more unusual as well as more flattering than the single V-line. High round necklines, a line that follows the exact base of the neck, is too uncompromisingly plain to be worn without relief. And the larger the wearer's features, the more transformation is needed. One often called a jewelry neckline, it furnishes an uncluttered background for a necklace. It is also commonly found in pullover sweaters and blouses, which are intended to supplement the lines of a suit, jacket, or cardigan. The sketches and suggestions are varying the monotony of the high round neckline. Low round necklines, although unadorned, low round necklines are commonly used in evening gowns and summer dresses. They are more suitable for young girls as well, with regular features. Women often prefer more subtle, flattering lines, and the sketches show how varying a low round neckline to make it more unusual as well as more attractive. And square, oblong, and sweetheart necklines. A square, like a segment of a circle or an exact V, is monotonous. Recutting a square neckline to make it either wider or deeper improves the shape, but even an oblong conflicts with a square, round, or pointed jawline. Shaping a broad rectangular neckline into a sweetheart line converts it into the shape which is generally becoming without further modification, for it conforms to the curves of the bosom and has more variety than other single-line necklines. So the square-like neckline can be varied. Boat necklines. Boat batu neckline runs horizontally across the base of the neck and shoulders, revealing the size of the neck and emphasizing irregular features mercilessly. Its softened modifications, although somewhat easier to wear, are less generally flattering than other basic shapes. So softer modifications, the sketches often offer suggestions for softening the boat neckline. Strapless bodices, strapless formals, sundresses, bathing suits may be fitted so tightly to stay up that the flesh of even a slender figure often rolls over the edge of the bodice in an unsightly manner. A bias fold flaring out over the tight edge softens the bodice line. This is showing the neckline, the boat, 2 suggestions for softening a boat. Then the folds of strapless bodices. A roll collar. These are kind of different collars, concealing imperfections by bridging neck column and shoulder plane. Flat collars reveal neck and shoulders exactly, and a standaway collar appears kind of larger. Says adjust roll height to neck length, and high roll for a long slender neck, low roll and for a short thick neck. So collars, a collar particularly one of a color contrasting with the garment holds attention regardless of the quality of its shape, since the aesthetic purpose of a collar is to introduce a second line which is pleasantly related to the neckline. A varied shape is the distinguishing mark of a well-designed collar. A uniformly parallel shape, the mark of a set. The beauty of a collar depends also on the quality of the roll. Collars cut from extensions of the bodice front stand a chance of rolling rhythmically and developing into finer, more unusual shapes than collars cut separately and sewed on. No matter which way collar is cut, its character depends on the quality of its shape, whether it rolls or lies flat, how high or low it rolls, how closely it rolls against the neck, and whether it stands instead of rolling. A well-shaped roll collar generally is preferable to either a plain, collarless neckline or a collar that lies flat, because the roll collar is transitional and bridges the column of the neck and plane of the shoulders. A flat collar, on the contrary, reveals starkly both the column of the neck, its length and shape, and plane of shoulders. But if a roll collar does not cling to the neck at the sides and back, it loses the transitional benefit of the roll. Viewed without prejudice of fashion, a standaway collar is hoarse, collarish, and appears too large for the neck. The length of the neck should determine the height of a collar roll. Shallow or close or high roll. A collar which stands straight at the back and rolls over in front does more than other collars. So stand straight, the back. Scale collars size to figure and features. They should be scaled, or cape collars that are wide berthas. The use of bias folds to soften all shapes of collarless necklines has already been explained, and the bias stretches. A bias collar rolls more softly and clings to the neck more closely than one cut on straight grain. And a shawl collar, high roll collar, folds shaped to cling to collarless necklines fit the neck and shoulders with greater precision. They are cut on the bias. Scale collars to figure. Okay. A scale labels as well as collars to figure, for the figure, the chest, and the height the chest breast. Fashion may decree labels that extend out to the armholes and down to the waistline, or short, narrow labels. Follow fashion only if the proportions are becoming scale. Labels also to dimension of the garment. Brief jackets get small labels. More massive proportions for long line suits. So the labels are those are shown right here to figure size and jacket length, proportionate, narrow labels, slender eyes, wide labels.